Hello there, friend. I have an interesting offer for you. Do you have any money that you do not want anybody to know about? I guess so. Because I can save your money and nobody will know where it came from and only you will know where it is. Oh, that sounds like an interesting proposition. I've got one question though. Does this also work with sheep instead of money? Sheep. No, we are only working with money. Ah, well then off.
Alright, so I hope you like this little intro before the game. I will do this for some games, not every game, where I feel like there's a story to be told. And for this one, I thought it was pretty funny. You know, got the Welsh with the sheep, the Swiss with the money and the banks. And yeah, let's talk about some football now. We have Swiss versus Wales. I would say in this case, Swiss is the high favorite. And I don't know a lot about both teams, to be fair. I only know Gareth Bale. And I mean, I do know a lot about the Swiss team, but I don't know a lot about the Wales team. A lot of these Swiss players play in the German league, which is the league I follow the most prominently. They have some very strong they don't really have those high tier players. They don't have these like superstars, but they just have like these mid like very good, like decent players for a lot of Bundesliga teams. So definitely looking forward to see what they can do against Wales, which I would say in this case is the underdog, even though they have players like Gareth Bale, who I would say is not really in the form of his life since a long time. Guy's kind of washed up, you could say, but you never know. The individual class of a player can always shine through in moments like these. So my prediction would be that Swiss probably wins this, but we'll have to see. Let's look at what I have to say about the first half. All right, so first half is over. We have Switzerland. I wasn't really paying much attention to this game, to be fair. I just noticed that Switzerland was quite in control. They were getting a lot of chances, a lot of ball possession, lots of fluent movements as well. They're just kind of struggling with chances and finishing. There was a huge chance from Seferovic, who that should have been a goal pretty much, let's say 90% of the time. That kind of was 100% position for sure. Like statistically speaking, you have someone like Ronaldo or Messi in that position, or like a Suarez or an Immobile, which we had yesterday. He puts that away pretty much every day of the week. It was a well-worked situation, and yeah, he kind of fluffed it. So Seferovic might go back to his ways of being a death of chances, as we like to call it in Germany and Austria, the Chancentod. But yeah, I mean, other than that, like I can't really say much about this game. I haven't really been paying much attention to it. I was doing some other stuff on the side, had to organize some things. But I would say that Swiss definitely, like for the few times that I saw them, they had some good flair moments, had some good possession moments, and they're just kind of the aggressor in this matchup. But also something that I did notice is their set pieces look really, really threatening. They really like going on the near post for a lot of their set pieces. They just love that section of the near post for their set pieces. So they could also use that to their advantage, that now Wales is going to be looking more to protect the near post, because the near post usually is the most dangerous area in set piece situations like the corners. So going to be looking forward to what they do with more corners, because I think they are looking to sort of capitalize on a corner. But I think they can score from open play for sure. It's looking like Swiss is going to get one goal, and it seems very similar to the game yesterday of Turkey versus Italy, where Italy was just dominant pretty much throughout the entire game, and it was just a matter of time till they scored. But you never know with Wales. Wales could somehow pull something out of their pockets with, you know, the likes of Bale, Ramsey, and I'm not sure if Allen is playing. As I said, I haven't been paying much attention to this game. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the second half. I'll be more attentive for the second half. It's 0-0. Let's see what's going to happen. I'll see you then. All right, and now we are at full time, 1-1, Switzerland versus Wales. I did say that Switzerland was going to use their corner tactics, and they did. They scored a goal off of a corner, but really disappointed what they did with their lead. After they got their first goal, They went full defense. They just like hid in their half. You saw when they had counter-attacking chances, none of their players would follow. It was really weird to see a team with such like offensive prowess, because they did substitute Shaqiri for Zakaria, and I think that was a very big mistake tactically, because once that happened, their offensive prowess was it was very bad at that point. They were highly hindered offensively by that substitution, and after the first goal, they just kind of let Wales do their thing. And Wales put up a lot of pressure. They put up a great fight, and they got rewarded in the end with, of course, as well, another set piece goal. It was it was a tactical game, but Switzerland also, they had some there was a big chance of Embolo towards the end of the game where he got a good cross, and he was very close to goal, and he somehow missed, which was quite weird. But hey, what are you gonna do? You can't score them all. But yeah, Switzerland missing their chances from open play is definitely something that will hurt them, because I think the 1 point was not deserved for Wales. They only had like a 20-minute or 10 to 20-minute period where they were good, solid, and where they looked threatening. Every other part of the game, Switzerland did that. They were the more offensive team. They were the more controlling team. But they just didn't use their chances. They did have an offside goal. And that the player that they substituted, I think he had like 3 offsides within like 20 minutes or something, which was kind of funny. So, yeah. I mean, I'm going to assume Switzerland is more disappointed than Wales with this result. It makes the group a lot more interesting now that Turkey is definitely back in the running, now that both of these teams kind of got a point out of this, and there's nobody's ahead apart from Italy. And yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this. I think this was a pretty boring game, one would say. Switzerland, I'm really disappointed with the way Switzerland played and the way they handled their lead. The way they sort of tried to control the game after they had the lead was very disappointing. You shouldn't do that, realistically. They still should have tried to attack. They didn't really do that. And then Wales was able to punish them, and that's where they fell apart, basically. As for man of the match, I would say Embolo was definite, even though he missed a huge chance in the second half. I think most of the offensive threats came from him. He almost had 2 assists off of missed chances. Also almost had 2 goals. He had 1 goal, of course, through the corner. And I think he just played really well. He was the attacking threat for Switzerland, so I would probably give it to him. My second man of the match would go to Wales goalkeeper Ward. I thought he had a pretty good game. He did save some very nice shots, good stops. Also had quite the confidence because the defense seemed quite leaky at times. They were just kind of like, the reason they didn't concede more was because of Switzerland's inefficiency in front of net. So yeah, I mean, if you don't score him, you can save him, right? And Ward did that. As for my third man of the match, that's going to be a very difficult one. I don't know, honestly. Like, I would say Davies from Wales did also play quite well. Or Akanji for Switzerland. I would say both of these players did impress me in the way they defended, and I mean, for Davies, it was the way he attacked, and he was also quite a threat on the offense, which he's supposed to be doing, but it's just the finishing product was just not there for him, and Akanji did well in defense for Switzerland, even though they did concede that 1 goal off of the I think it was a corner. I'm not entirely sure. I think it was a corner, yeah. And yeah, that was Switzerland versus Wales. Not a lot to talk about here, realistically. It was quite a boring match. I also didn't really pay that much attention to it. But from what I gathered, this is all I have to say about it. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe for more football videos, and I'll see you soon.